What's up everybody, welcome back to Earn It, Save It, Invest It. In this video, I'm going to break down my week 36 of my $100,000 challenge, as well as break down Hims stock. It has been just cratering. It has been going down so bad, and I'm going to break down exactly why it's going down and if you should maybe buy or sell, if you should just even consider buying or selling it, right? So I'm going to go really kind of into Hims a lot. So if you can, just please give a like and subscribe. This is going to go kind of deep into it. I am going to go into another deep dive into Hims on another video, but recently, just today and yesterday, things have gone insane with him, so I felt like now would be even a good time to kind of get into it. So this is my $100,000 challenge, right? I am currently at I'm at $7,980. I'm up 1.2% on the day. Oops, I meant to do this. The problem is, look at this thing right here. Look at that. If you can't read it, let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see what this after hours move is right now. We're at minus 15%. Hims is already, for the week, down 21%. And it's about to be 15% negative in after hours. So, not looking good. My $100,000 challenge started on June 2nd, and as you can see, if you're looking at my holdings, Hims right here, you can't really see it. It's hard to zoom in. Can I zoom in on this? That's hard on it's a YouTube. It's $52 for Hims. My Nike position is above Celsius, is one of the only positions I had that's actually up, but Meta is actually, my Meta position is down compared to what it was back then. My Amazon position is barely up. My Fubo position is down. So I haven't had a great run. Hims has completely demolished my account. Obviously, again, Meta and Amazon barely moving over, a course of about 8 months or so is kind of insane, right? It hasn't really moved in 8 months. Celsius has, TQQQ has, but some of these other stocks, they really just haven't done anything for me. So my challenge hasn't been off to a great start over the next 8 months or the last 8 months. Nonetheless, I'm still staying positive. I did buy some stocks today. But Hims was down minus 15%, and if you're wondering why, I will go over it all just here in a second. Now, I am in week 36 of my $100,000 challenge. I'm down about 8%. That Hims position being down negative 15% is after hours, so that's going to hurt me next week. I'm 22% away from my goal. Oh, that hurts, right? My portfolio is up 8.5% since June 2nd, but if you're taking away all the deposits that I have put in cash, I'm actually negative 16% or so. That's harsh. Again, Hims at that time was about 50, now it's under 20. After hours, it's at 19 something. So, just destroyed. Right now, my profit, right? I'm only down negative 4%. Oh, okay, now I'm going to be down negative 20%, right? I'm going to be down 20% on this position. But before this after hours drop, I was only down 4%. So even though, yes, my challenge, I already had a feeling that this was going to happen. I had a feeling that this was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen, that my portfolio would look weak and down because I knew Hims was going to be very volatile. I'm not going to go into that because I did buy a few shares. I bought Adobe, the Trade Desk, and Autor. So it hasn't shown up yet here on Seeking Alpha, but I did buy $50 of Adobe, 1 share of the Trade Desk, and 1 share of Autor. The AAII sentiment, as you can see, we've gotten a little bit less bullish, but we're still above the historical average. We're at 39.7. Historical average is 37.5. The bulls are just at about the neutral is just about historical average, and the bears are a little bit below. But as you can see, we definitely have now gone down from those November that we had. Oh, let me see. Oh no, that's another right here, right? So I mean, the bulls, it was pretty bullish when we hit around Thanksgiving. It started to get bullish right after that, right? Got 44, 49, and as of late, it's kind of gone down a little bit. But nonetheless, we're still pretty bullish, even though things have kind of gone a little bit crazy lately. This is a perfect example of how the stock market is, right? This is the fear and greed index. What emotion is driving the market now? Oops, I actually forgot to show this. What do you think the Federal Reserve's decision to keep interest rates unchanged? It was the right move. Overwhelmingly 68%, or they should have cut rates. So it is what it is, right? The fear and greed index, we're at basically a fear and neutral, right? The previous close we were at a fear, 32, but then a week ago we were at a greed, and then a month ago we were at a neutral, and a year ago we were in fear. The stock market is so emotional. It's like a child. Just put the stock market in one of these bad babies, right? So, to Hims. We're going to go into Hims. Enough about my $100,000 challenge because it's right now. Let's go into Hims. Hims has been hit very hard, and this is why. FDA intends to take action against non-FDA approved GLP-1 drugs. I'm going to read this through a little bit so you can understand what's happening. Today, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration is announcing its intent to take decisive steps to restrict GLP-1 active pharmaceutical ingredients intended for use in non-FDA approved compounded drugs that are being mass marketed by companies, including Hims and Hers and other compounding pharmacies, as similar alternatives to FDA approved drugs. These actions are aimed to safeguard consumers from drugs for which the FDA cannot verify quality, safety, and efficacy. We take seriously any potential violations of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. So, basically the FDA is saying we're going to come after you because you're saying that your drug is a similar alternative to the FDA approved drugs, right? It's one thing I feel like Hims has been a little too, like they have been like, you know what, we're going to say we're just like Wegovy, but you know, we're cheaper, we're better in that way. Like basically saying, look, you can get the same thing, but with us. And I think that's what's going on with the FDA is like, they're like saying, hey, you're mass marketing these these products as similar alternatives to an FDA approved drug. I think if they take that away, that would be a huge part. I mean, they literally have on their advertisement, it's like their pill, and it says same ingredients as Wegovy or something. It's like, don't do that. You're just asking for this. The FDA is also taking steps to combat misleading direct-to-consumer advertising and marketing following warning letters that were sent in the fall in 2025. In promotional materials, companies cannot claim that non-FDA approved compounded products are generic versions or the same as drugs approved by FDA. They also cannot state compounded drugs using the same active ingredient as the FDA approved drugs or that compounded drugs are clinically proven to produce results for the patient. So again, this is advertising and marketing more than anything. They're not breaking a law right now. And I'm going to go exactly the laws and stuff like that they have to be in compliance of. But they're not breaking any laws, yet, at least that we know of, right? The FDA will use all available compliance and enforcement tools within its authorities to address unsubstantiated claims and associated public health concerns. Entities engaged in the manufacture, distribution, or marketing of unapproved compounded GLP-1 products should be aware that failure to adequately address any violations may result in legal action without further notice, including, without limitation, seizure, and injunction. So again, failure to address any violations. Well, if they're only violating marketing, that's one thing, right? The FDA... oh, no, that's it. All right. So that's what's happening, right? This just came out, February 6th. So here's a really good article I found, written today, 11 hours ago. Hims, long flying under regulators' radar, finally strikes a nerve with its Wegovy pill copy. It's unclear if the pill Hims is selling works or if the FDA will allow it. Novo Nordisk CEO Autor appeared to learn in real time on Thursday that Hims and Hers, a thorn in Novo's side for more than a year, planned to sell copies of his company's new oral weight loss drug. Hims announced that it would sell a starter dose for $49. It's basically $100. It's $49 for the first month, compared to the $149 of Novo's. Autor was asked about the move during a call with analysts just days after Novo gave a devastating full-year outlook and said the competition and price pressure were weighing on sales. You're wasting $49, in my opinion. Released a statement threatening legal and regulatory action against Hims. By Thursday evening, the dispute appeared to escalate. FDA Commissioner Marty Makary said in an ex-post the agency would take swift action against companies mass marketing illegal copycat drugs, right? Okay, so they're, see Daisy. So, right? We just kind of went through that a little bit. Hims has doubled down on selling the copies of the drug, as many of its peers have opted to instead forge partnerships with the drug maker. For the most part, Hims has gotten by without more than a slap on the wrist by the FDA. This product launch may be the tipping point. Now, does it even work? A key question emerged regarding how Hims or its partner pharmacy Strive could create a copy of Novo's Wegovy pill that actually works. While Wegovy is best known as once a weekly injection, Novo spent billions of dollars developing oral versions using proprietary delivery technology, developing these drugs as pills rather than injections. Therefore, winding the population of people willing to take the very lucrative drugs has been a significant challenge for drug manufacturers because the digestive system is built to break down protein-based compounds like GLP-1s. Novo spent $1.8 billion in 2020 to acquire Hemisphere Technologies for its oral drug delivery snack, which it uses in its oral semaglutide drugs, including and Wegovy pill. I'm not even going to say that one right. The patented coating protects the drug from stomach acid, and even then, patients must take it on an empty stomach and wait 30 minutes before eating for it to work. So, essentially, a big thing about this is like Novo, they have this pill, and the big technology proprietary patent that they have, the IP, right, the intellectual property in a sense, is that the technology, it helps that your body doesn't break it down and that your body can actually consume it, right? Because your body, the acid and everything, it starts to break down everything, right? So, like all branded medications, it went through years of clinical trials and remains the only oral semaglutide delivery method that has been validated in large clinical trials. A Hims spokesperson told Sherwood News that its pills uses liposomal technology that is intended to support absorption. There is no publicly available clinical trial data showing the method works for semaglutide. Strive's website cites studies done on animals to back up the delivery method. Neither Hims or Strive have responded to the questions, of course. Now, they are conducting quasi-clinical trials on people. Dr. Ashwin Sharma, someone of the newsletter GLP-1 Digest, someone else said they went on great lengths to use snack instead. That Novo went great lengths to use snack instead, so there must be a reason. Said the copycat drug almost certainly doesn't work. Well, I guess we're about to find out, right? It's going to be a while. This is someone saying, so I guess what they meant by democratizing access is launching a copycat drug that almost certainly doesn't work. Straight to prison. So we'll see. Personalization. Hims and other telehealth companies began selling copies of Novo's injectable weight loss drug in 2024. Well, it was in a shortage, right? But even when the shortage ended, Hims continued to sell the copies under a personalized program for patients using a loophole typically reserved for rare situations such as patient allergy to a non-critical ingredient in medication. Hims aligns with the Trump administration's policy priorities in several ways. It's putting downward pricing pressure on popular drugs and promotes a populist vision of a healthcare system that cuts insurers out and gives patients autonomy. A lot to read, right? The Wegovy, but its Wegovy pill dupe may have been the step too far. Hims peers appeared concerned that the companies selling pills potentially don't work. Its personalization explanation also might be more complicated with pills. Because tablets are typically manufactured in batches using a press, so it's a little bit different, right? The whole making it personalization. This is really stretching the limits of that exemption past its breaking point. So, let's say, Hims does not make the pill itself, Strive does, potentially limiting the company's own legal liability. Now here's a big thing. I don't think there's a reason Novo haven't gone after Hims, I do think that there's a reason that Novo haven't gone after Hims, which is that there is a substantial risk if they lose. A consumer health expert at West Monroe. And if you lose that and you set the precedent, then it's going to be very hard to unwind it. So the reason why, if you go after Hims, and Hims is like, dude, we're following the law, right? And let me go over really quick, before I go over their technology, I'm going to go over why I think Hims is following the law. I do believe that they are following the law. And let me show you why. This woman right here. She's been a member of our board since 2024. She serves as Hims' Chief Policy Officer. Now, let me break down exactly the biggest part of what she was a part of. Actually, there's a lot of this. But she was the chair of the board of the FDA Alumni Association, served as the CEO of strategic regulatory consulting firms. She was previously a board member of a few of these other ones, right? And the Parental Drug Association. She was also served as Scientific Advisory Council for the Center of Innovation in Regulatory Science. This is the bigger one though. From 2019 and 2021, she was the global head of regulatory excellence at AstraZeneca, where she led regulatory operations, policy, and intelligence for their submissions globally. This is somebody who knows what she's doing. She was a senior leader at the FDA from 2001 to 2013. Most recently, Deputy Commissioner for the Global Regulatory Operations and Policy, where she oversaw all FDA inspections, criminal investigations, and international operations for human and veterinary drugs, biology. Look, she's got her stuff together. She's got it together. Let me show you another person that's involved. Kare Schultz, I think it's Kare. He's been a member of the board since 2024. From 2017 to 2023, he served as the chief CEO of some companies, but let me show you the big one. He worked 3 decades at Novo Nordisk, where he served in a number of leadership roles, including Chief Operating Officer, Vice President in Product Supply, and Director of Product Planning and Customer Services in the Diabetes Care Division. At Novo Nordisk, Mr. Schultz played a major role in modernizing the company's large-scale biologic production and leading the company's expansion into the U.S. and Chinese markets. In addition, at his time to Novo Nordisk, held positions at these other places. So, I mean, these people know what they're doing. Novo just doesn't like it, right? They don't like that Hims is coming after them, and they know what they're doing. Now, I will say, this guy, he is young as hell, and I'm not, he needs to start coming out and saying some stuff, because there's a lot of investors that are upset. There's a lot of questions going out, and if you don't know all this stuff, then you don't know. What Strive does, to go back to the pill and the legality of all this stuff, right? Strive is the one who makes their pills. for their, the weight loss pill. So we're going to see exactly what the technology is. Now, SNAC, it uses a different way of how the body breaks it down, right? So this is their technology. This is how they do it. Now, I'm going to kind of go over the bullet points really quickly. I'm not going to go over the crazy stuff, the scientific part about it. But it says it's liposome innovation is expanding what's possible for personalized oral medicine. The drug delivery marks Strive's newest innovation, advancing oral pharmacokinetics and expanding what's possible in personalized compounding. Solid-state multimellar liposomes help protect delicate molecules through layered phospholipid design, promoting stable and consistent absorption. Now, these little things are obviously, they all relate to, or they all take you to these science, what am I even trying to say? The science, they do all the tests and they're doing everything, right? The scientific conclusions, I guess. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but, it's going to all of those, right? This is not just like their opinion. These nanoscale vesicles enable targeted drug delivery, favor lymphatic uptake, and help minimize first-pass metabolism. Let me break that one down. Basically, it helps protect the stuff that's inside the pill from your first, when it's first going down, your body is breaking it up heavily. And so this helps protect all the things that are inside that pill, so that way your liver can actually digest the actual drug that it wants, right? Strive applies liposome technology to compounds such as testosterone, semaglutide, and tirzepatide, creating new oral options once limited to injections. And this is only the beginning. So that's that. I'm not going to go into all this, right? I am going to keep these links. I'm going to put these links in the description so that anyone can see what's going on, right? And isn't this funny? Now they're just putting out this thing, right? And they're just bringing out this article. Now check this out. This is also very interesting. Oh wait, hold on. 1/6, not 2/6. Today's the 6th of February. This was a month ago. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, dang, they brought this out today? That's crazy. But check this out. I just saw this. Strive Compounding Pharmacy files landmark antitrust lawsuit against Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk. Guys, it is heating up. That's the thing. This is not just about legal. This is about money. This is about the monopoly, I think. This is, on my opinion, I think this is about the monopoly that Big Pharma has. Just my opinion. Strive Compounding Pharmacy, one of the nation's most celebrated providers of compounded medications, has filed a federal antitrust lawsuit against pharmaceutical giants Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, alleging a coordinated effort to suppress competition and limit patient access to lawful compounded GLP-1 medications. Well, who's struck the first? Who's struck the first strike? When you talk about legal action, think about how much Novo Nordisk has talked but hasn't done any actions. They took action already. Strive is saying we're filing a lawsuit. And they alleges anti-competitive conduct designed to suppress lawful compounding pharmaceuticals and limit patient choice. That is crazy. The lawsuit, filed in the United States District Court of Western District of Texas, alleges that the defendants used their dominant market positions to undermine the compounding pharmacy industry, an established and essential component of the U.S. healthcare system, by discouraging providers, telehealth platforms, and patients from prescribing and accessing compounded GLP-1s. For years, compounding pharmacies have served as a vital, lawful, and intentional component for the U.S. healthcare system, providing essential, tailored medications when mass-produced versions either don't fit a patient's unique needs or fall into a shortage. For us, this has been more than just a business dispute. It's a fight for the right of every patient to have access to the medicine their doctor prescribes at a price that isn't dictated by a monopoly. And this is the co-founder and CEO of Strive. We are standing up to ensure that medical judgment stays between a doctor and their patient, not a pharmaceutical executive and a balance sheet. Fair competition is an essential part not only of this industry, but the entire economy. Without it, access vanishes and prices skyrocket. By filing this lawsuit, we are protecting a lawful, essential industry that millions of Americans rely on for their well-being. To protect the patients who need them, compounded medications are a godsend. Let me tell you this. Now, that's all I got right now from all this. But look, I'm going to tell you this right now. This administration wants this type of stuff. They want the cheaper drugs. They want it to just not be monopolized and all that stuff, right? This administration's health goals, right? The healthcare system goals, that's what they're really going for. And if they are doing everything by the book, right? Hims has some people on their board of directors who know their stuff. They're working with a company who's been doing this for a while and knows their stuff, and they filed a lawsuit against Novo Nordisk. You got to have some confidence. You have to have confidence if you're going to go up against the big boys, right? Because as much as you may be doing something legal and you feel confident and all that, you still got to go up against their lawyers, their budget. And they don't care. They're going for it. I'm sorry, but to me, that gives me confidence in Hims. I mean, if we look at their chart, clearly it is bad. It's going to go all the way down here. And I even said, when we went past 25, I said, there's no support. All of these were just supports of back here. These lines literally don't matter anymore. None of these lines matter anymore as much as they used to. This is how I was able to kind of like technically come up with Hims and why I knew where Hims was going to end up. But all this Novo Nordisk drama has really pushed Hims into a place where I can't even fathom why it is. But I guess I can, because, you know, you're dealing with the monopoly system. You're dealing with the big pharma. I mean, big pharma is, you know, let's look at this. Let's just search. Let's search this really quick. Which industry does the most lobbying in America? Top industry. The pharmaceutical and health products spent an estimated $293 to $384 million on federal lobbying, including hospitals, nurses, is the top spending overall, with exceeding $700 million in 2024. Top individuals with the National Association of Realtors, top organization, ordered $86 million. Look, pharmaceuticals, based on recent years, pharmaceuticals and health products industry consistently spends the most on lobbying in the United States. Look, they're going to do as much as they can to throw money and get what they want. This isn't about what's deserved. This isn't about what's right. This isn't about what's good for the customers. This is about money. Money. So, look, I'm going to leave it at that. Hims has a challenge, but I think they're going to win. I think the company's going to win. The stock might. I don't know what's going to happen. You look at the chart, there's just no support. There's no support anywhere. There's none. There's no support at all. With the stock and how new it is and how volatile it went and how quick it was, just, there's no support. So we have no technicals. You look at the fundamentals, it's fine, right? If they continue to grow their the market share and continue to grow their revenue and continue to grow their EPS and come out with the new products, and they're making investments that seem to be making sense, everything seems to be fine. If they're doing everything legally, what's the problem? The problem is emotions. If we go really quick, right? We go back over here. This is like, very much like a Hims stock, right? Where you go, fear, greedy. Fear. Oh, dude. It's just a lot. So I believe in Hims. I believe in the company. The stock might have some hard times, but I do believe it's going to come back and go to 100. I do think it will go to 100 by 2030, because that's what my projections have it at. That's what I think it is. I think what it's going to go to. That's obviously a lot higher than it is today. It's about 5x. After hours, it has it under 20. It has it 19 something. So anyways, that's my my $100,000 challenge and my Hims update. Is it dead money? No, I don't think it's dead money. If you bought a few months ago, I'd say if you bought in like August, September, anything like that, or you bought maybe a year ago, you might be hating Hims. I have a love-hate relationship with Hims. I kind of knew what was going to happen with it. I didn't think it was going to get this bad with Novo, but it's pretty bad. But I do believe in the business. I believe in the board of directors. I believe in the company. So I'm going to hold on and wait for earnings, right? Earnings comes out. Let's see exactly when that comes out. Let's go. Hims. Earnings, the 23rd, February 23rd, right? So we still have 2 weeks, about 2.5 weeks. Not great, because as far as I know, CEO isn't saying anything. He's not saying anything. He sold a bunch of stock. Now it said it was predetermined, pre-planned, all that, but and he sold it at the high, so he hasn't sold it at all recently. But again, you just look at these revenue growth rates. This thing is it's growing at 50% year over year. And, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see exactly what happens with this stock, because as you can see, financially it looks good. Oh wait, you can't even really see it that well. See, you look at these growth rates, right? Look at that. It's like, this is the revenue, the earnings per share. Now they missed a little bit there. They missed a little, very little met. But look at this, man. Those are some good numbers. Yeah, so anyway, if you do agree or you don't agree, let me know why in the comments. And also, please give me a like and subscribe. I'm exhausted from all this. I've had an exhausting week. All this Hims information having to come out and all, it's been a little bit crazy, but I'm ready for it. I'm not scared. I'm prepared. So, just never forget to earn it, save it, invest it, buy low, sell high. I want assets, not liabilities, and you can count on compounded interest.